So I have a definite bestseller at all of my markets, which of course are my mini plushies. So I want to keep lots of them in stock at all times. And since my last markets last year ended up clearing me completely out of inventory, I thought up a fun little challenge to get myself back into market prepping and focus on my bestsellers, which are these mini items. So I want to challenge myself and try and make 200 of these mini little guys in February alone. So we shall see how that goes. I'm already on a very bad start. So I've collected all of them that I have made so far. And this is everything. So we currently have 5 baby whales and 5 little penguins in here. And it's February 8th. So we're 8 days into the challenge with only 10 little plushies completed. So already off to a great start, I think. But today is Sunday. I have the whole day to just crochet a ton of little plushies. So let's get right into this video. Hi, my name is Veronica and I run a small business where I mostly sell crochet plushies. And yeah, as I said, I am getting ready to get back into market prep. I only have 2 markets planned for the first half of the year, but both of these markets are pretty big shows and I did super well last year, so I still have to prep quite a lot and already like pre-prep for the second half of the year because that is where most of my markets are at. So 200 mini plushies would be a great start to this market prep, and as you just saw, I only have 10 of them completed. But what I do also have is a whole box of works in progresses that I've been working on during the week. So every time I had a little time to work on things, I was making some of these plushies, especially the baby octos I worked on last week. So I have quite a lot of those in here. So let me see and find out how many there are because I've just been throwing them in here and not really been counting how many I've been making. So let me see. So I have all of these here, so quite a lot of colors, but we have 2, 4, 6, 14 of them to be exact, and as I said, lots of different colors. Baby octos are out of my mini items that are the best sellers. The baby octos are, I guess, the best of the best. I sold nearly 100 of them at my last winter market, so definitely those are the #1 plushie to focus on, and honestly it's my favorite plushie to make, so I'm always very interested in working on them. So that is great that I love making my bestseller, I guess. And then we also have a little more in here. So we have 3 baby whale works in progresses. So 2 are like the completed upper halves, and this one I ran out of the dark blue yarn. So 3 baby whales that we can finish up as well. And then these are actually works in progresses from last year that I also still have in here. We have quite a lot of upper halves for baby penguins. So let me show you. That is how far I got with those. It's like the upper half of these little guys, and this week I already went ahead and finished up the purple little works in progresses that I had. So we basically have half the bird done with those. So we have 2 in blue, we have 6 in the dark turquoise, one is more than halfway done, and then 5 upper halves, and then we also have 5 in the lighter turquoise that we can work on. Actually 6 that we can work on, so that should be 14 baby penguins, 3 baby whales, and then 14 baby octos. So that should be 31. So if we can finish up all of these today, we should be at 41, including the 10 that we already have finished. So that should be the goal, at least, to finish all of them up today and hopefully work on even more. But let me start out by adding eyes to the baby octos, I think, and finishing those up because that is pretty simple. So let's get right into the challenge. I am very confident that we can get this done. If we can actually get 200 mini plushies done in February, we shall see. But for now, I'm pretty confident. So let's start working. Okay friends, so I have finished the whole gang. It's not all of them, but I finished all 14 baby octos. So let's go ahead and add them to the bin. And then I will actually head out of the studio for today because we want to go on a little Sunday walk, which we used to do a lot, but last year with all of my markets and everything, we kind of fell off with that. And yeah, this year I really want to take up crochet more like as a hobby again, without like making less, but like just having other hobbies as well, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So that is the plan for now. I will head out and yeah, we will go on a little walk, but then once we get back, I will keep on making mini plushies, but back at home, and I might actually take you guys along for that. I haven't filmed at home in quite a while, so we shall see how that goes. But yeah, that is the plan. Let me add these to the bin and then we will see what else I can get up to today. Good morning friends, it's now Monday. As you can tell, I'm still back at home. I'm about to start my workday, but as promised, I wanted to check in and show you what I got finished last night. So I actually for once did what I said. So after finishing the octos, I went on and finished all of the little penguins. So we have 6 in this color combination. We have 6 in this color combo, so the darker turquoise, and then 2 in the blue, so 14 more. And then I finished all of the baby whales that I had started to work on, and then even one more. I can't remember which one was the one that I started after I showed you, but I have 4 of them finished. So we have 1 in the very dark blue color, and then we have 3 more because 1 is already like in my bin in the studio. 3 more in the speckle blue, so 4 more baby whales. So that means with these finished, we have 42 mini plushies now completed. So still quite behind, but definitely caught up a little more. So yeah, today, as I said, I'm about to start my work day, but like during lunch and everything, I might be able to make a couple more mini items. Today we should be at 65, if I'm not completely wrong. 64. Today we should be at 64, if I'm not completely wrong. So 22 left to be caught up. Maybe a little much for today, but we shall see. Let me start my workday and I will check in with you guys later. Okay friends, so it's now way later. As you can probably tell, I have finished my workday, but as I said, I wanted to check in with you guys a little more regularly now. And I probably won't be heading out to the studio today because we're going out with some friends tonight. And yeah, I just don't really have time to spend a lot of time in the studio. So just a little check-in from home. And yeah, I finished my work day today. During my lunch break, I was able to crochet 2 little octopi. So these 2 little guys, they're not completed, so just the body's finished. And yeah, tonight, once I get back home, I hope I can work on some more mini plushies, hopefully some more of the baby penguins, because I only have 2 of the blue ones, and I would really like to get those up to 6 as well, to have the same number for the colorful baby penguins, to kind of like keep a little more track of what I've been making. So yeah, that is the plan, and I will see what I can get done tonight, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow and show you hopefully lots of new mini plushies. Okay friends, I'm now back at the studio, as you can tell, and it's now Tuesday after work, and what a day it's been. So I wanted to check in and show you what I've been working on. So I'm over here to pour some vessels for my candle business, but I wanted to also take time and show you what I've been working on and what minis I've completed. So we already have all of the ones that I finished late on Sunday, which I want to add to my plushie bin behind me. And then I already showed you some of them yesterday. I finished up the 2 baby octos that I worked on yesterday, so they're completely done and can be added to the bin as well. And then I made some other colors for the baby penguins, and I'm personally very obsessed with them, so I tried out some new combinations, and I made all of these little guys. So we have a darker blue combo compared to this light combo, and I've never made any of those 3 before, so this is completely new, and we shall see how it will perform compared to the light version. I think I prefer the darker version, and I will definitely make some more of those because I think they will possibly keep up with the lighter ones, so I definitely want to have more than just one. And yeah, so dark blue one completed, and then I made the same with purple. I made a darker purple one, and this color is new, so this is a new shade of like kind of lilac, almost a little like pinkish, but I really like this shade. I'm very obsessed with it, so I definitely want to reorder some of that. I only got 1 skein to try it out, and I really like this color. So this is like the darker version of the purple penguins that I have, and I actually think I like the darker version for this one as well. This one is very pastel-y, which is also cute, but I personally like this one more. So I also want to make more of those to see how they compare to one another. And then I made this one, which is like a salmon color combo, like not orange but not pink, so kind of different, kind of cute. I think this will be probably the one that's like more niche than the other colors, so I might make a second one to have another one of those to have a little bit of contrast for the little bin of mini penguins. But in general, I think it won't be like one of the most popular colors, just like to have a little contrast. I want to make more of those. So that was everything that I've worked on since I last checked in with you guys. So we're now at 47 mini plushies with all of those, and we should be at 71 today. So it's February 10th, and I should be making 7.1 or something like that mini items every day. So we should be at 71. We're at 47, so that means 24 short, which is a lot, don't get me wrong. But definitely once the weekend rolls around, I think we can catch up to where I should be at for the challenge. So let me add these to the basket. I will pour some vessels, and then tonight I will work on some more of the mini plushies. For now, I think I want to keep working on the little penguins because while they're like super cute, I actually don't really love working on them because there's like so many colors that you have to like change, and then also you can't really like bulk prep them like you can with the baby octos. I usually make a ton of them, just the bodies, and then add the eyes all at once and finish them up all at once, and you can't really do that for them. You kind of have to finish them up in one go. I sometimes prep the upper halves for them, but like there's still quite a lot of work to be done once the upper half is completed. Like you have to sew on the beak, you have to do all of the little details. So I actually don't prefer to make them, but I think they're very cute and they're one of my best sellers. So I want to make more baby penguins and try and have 50 of them in total at the end of the month. So yeah, I actually don't really know how many I currently have. I think it should be so 22, I think, of the baby penguins completed. So still quite a lot to do for those, but that is my focus for now. And yeah, let me add them and we will talk tomorrow and see how much I hopefully got done. Hi friends, it's now quite a couple days later than I last spoke to you, so I honestly don't remember what I last told you, but it's Saturday now, so it's the 14th, and I'm back at the studio to crochet a little more, and I've also been crocheting throughout the week, so I have a whole basket full of mini penguins in here, so that is what I've been working on through the week. I also ended up writing out a little plan on what other colors I want to make for the little penguins, so that I kind of have a plan on how many I still want to complete and don't over make some of the colors and everything. So I currently have, with all of those, I will add them into my big bin back there in just a second, but with all of those I should be at 65 mini plushies in total. So still quite far behind my goal of the month, which still is 200. So today, at the end of the day, I should be at 100 exactly, because it's halfway through the month today. So we still need to make 35 today to complete that goal, which I don't think is possible. So we will not be catching up today. But I think I've done quite a good chunk of work this week, and I'm hoping that I can get all of the ones that I've planned out now finished today. So I have 10 more baby penguins on my list that I want to make before moving on to the next type of mini plushie. But let's go through what I've made in the past couple of days. So I made 7 more in the light blue color. So this is what they look like. I also am currently working on, I don't have any completed, I'm working on a darker blue version. So you can kind of tell what this is going to look like already, and I like it a lot as well. So very excited to see how they go, but this is the light version. I now have 9 of them because I already had 2 of them completed. So 7 more of those. And then I made 4 more in the lilac color. So this is what they look like. I already have 5 of them completed, so 4 more for a total of 9 as well. So very cute, I think. And then I also made some other purples. So I made 2 more in this color combo, so like a darker but like more warm pinkish color. And then I also made 2 in the darker color that is like a little more cool toned. So those are the 2 darker ones, and I like both of them quite a lot. So I couldn't really decide between one or the other. So I ended up making 2 of each of those to see which ones do better. And then finally I have 3 of the dark turquoise little guys. So we also have a total of 9 of them now in the bin once I add those. So I ended up going with 9 for all of my like bestsellers from my last market. So this one, the light blue, the lilac, and then the light turquoise version, which I still need to make 3 of. I ended up going with 9 of them, then a couple of like the darker ones. And now on my list to still complete, we have the 3 in the dark blue that I want to make. We have 3 more in the light turquoise version, and then 2 pink and 2 green. So those colors like ended up selling as well when I made them before, but not as well as the other ones. So I decided to make way less of those, but still have some of them to have like a little variety of those. So by the end of that, we should have 50 mini penguins. So that is kind of my goal. Same with baby whales and baby octos, and then also mini chicks with hats. I haven't made a singular one of those, but I think I want to land at 50 for each of those. So once I have those completed, we will be finished with baby penguins for now. But yeah, we still have quite a lot to make. So let me add that to the bin, and then I will keep working on the baby penguins that I'm currently working on. And I'm trying to at least finish the dark blue ones while I'm here. But yeah, really hoping to catch up and get quite a good amount done to try and catch up with where I should be at finally. Like, we're halfway through the month and still not caught up with what I should have been making the whole time. But yeah, I think it's still doable. I think the goal is still doable. So we will try and see where we land at the end of today. Alright friends, so it's now quite a while later. I ended up not really working on plushies all that much today. So I made one little dark blue penguin. So we're sitting at 66 mini plushies now. I haven't finished anything else. I've been working lots on the studio, pouring vessels and packing orders. So that has kind of taken over a little bit for right now. But yeah, I wanted to add this little guy into the bin and then head back home, because over there I end up working on plushies quite a lot more than I do over here. So that is the plan for now. Let me add this one into the bin and show you the bin, because I haven't done an update on the bin yet for you guys. So here is what it's looking like now. So actually, when you like smush them all down together, I think the bin should be like a quarter of the way filled. So this is what it's looking like. So pretty good progress, I think. My goal is still to kind of like fill this one up. I'm not sure if the 200 mini plushies that are my goal for this month will be enough. But for now, I can only add this one little guy in here. So yeah, this is what it's looking like. And as I said, I will be heading out of the studio for today and hopefully crocheting a little more tonight, which I might show you tonight or tomorrow. Hi friends, it's now Sunday and I'm back at the studio. As you can tell, I'm over here to work on some more candle vessels and try and use up some of the materials I have, try to prep for the spring markets and just get that out of the way for now. But in the meantime, while they're drying until I can demold them, I'm crocheting. So I brought my stuff to crochet some more. And last night I did not finish all of the mini penguins. I only finished the two dark blue little guys that I had been working on. So these are now completed and I have 7 more to go. So I made some more of the upper halves. So I have the 2 green ones started, and this is obviously the top color and this will be the bottom color, and then we have the pink as well, and the bottom color will be this baby pink, so kind of like very pastel-y. So those 4 are like halfway done, and then I have the lighter turquoise ones to finish, so 3 more of that, so 7 more to go for those. And yeah, last night we ended up watching a movie and I decided that I was not going to be crocheting like while watching it and instead enjoy the evening. So that is why I didn't get a whole ton done. But today, in between the drying times of my vessels, I think I can get all of the baby penguins finished and then move on to some other mini items and try and catch up a little bit with those. So we're sitting at 67 now with those 2 completed, and today we should be at 107. So still 40 left to go to catch up. Not sure if that's possible today, but I will do my best and try and get the numbers up. Okay friends, so it's now an hour later. I have done another batch of my vessels, and in the meantime I managed to finish these 2 little green guys. So not a ton that I got finished in the meantime. It always takes me so long to make my vessels, and crocheting is just like the 10 minutes in between where I'm waiting for the vessels to dry. So I don't get a ton of crocheting done when I'm making vessels, but at least these 2 little guys are done. We're now at 69 plushies, so definitely a little bit of progress. So yeah, I will keep working on the mini penguins and focusing on the 2 pink ones, and we shall see how much I can get done in the meantime. Alright friends, so I have now finished another batch of vessels, and I wanted to check in and show you what I got completed in the meantime. So I finished the 2 pink little penguins, and I really like this color combo. Like before I was doing them with a different top pink color, which is this one, so way brighter than the one I used now, and I really like the pastel tone of them now. So I think that they might actually do pretty well, and 2 might not be enough, but for now, just to try them out in this color combo, I think we will go with the 2, and if they do end up selling pretty fast, I can always make more in the future of this color combination. But I really like it. I really like the pastel tones. So those are finished, and we're now sitting at 71 plushies completed, and I've also finished the top halves for the remaining 3 little penguins. So these are the final 3 of the penguins. Then we will have made 50 of them, which is pretty good. And yeah, they are one of my most popular mini items. So I'm glad I'm on my way to getting quite a lot of them finished. So that is the goal for now. I will work on the remaining 3 little penguins, and then we will decide what else to make. Okay friends, I have now finished up the 3 remaining penguins. So here they all are. And yeah, with that we have 74 completed mini plushies in my bin. And 50 of those are mini penguins. So that is a pretty good thing to have done, because they are probably the ones that take the longest out of my mini plushies. So I'm glad that I got all of them finished. So I still need to add the ones that I made today to the bin as well. But yeah, we're sitting at 74 plushies, and I've now decided to move on to making some more baby whales. I have a couple in my bin, but not a ton. So I think I will work on those today and hopefully get quite a good chunk of those done today before we move on to a different type of mini plushie for next week. And I have picked out quite a lot of colors for my baby whales that I want to work on. So we have a light, kind of like mint color. We have a turquoise. We actually have a couple more turquoises. So a more like blue, bright blue turquoise, and then like a darker turquoise as well. I have a couple different pinks, like baby pink and this one, and I also want to make some in this color as well. We have 2 purples, a cooler and a lighter, like warmer tone, and then blue, of course. And I want to make like 3 to 5 on each of those colors to really get the numbers up and hopefully catch up with where I should be by now. But I've decided that I will head out of the studio for today and just crochet and chill a little bit at home, and I will end this video right here. So we're not quite caught up yet with the challenge, but I think by next week we definitely can do that. So definitely stay tuned for part 2 of this challenge, where we shall see how this whole thing ends for the rest of February. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way until the end, and I will see you guys again next week for another video. So until then, bye!